experience once again in a new land. It's time to continue directly after that into the new region as Ash's plane prepares to land. Okay, so technically it doesn't start with Ash right away. Instead, much like getting introduced to Dawn, we start off at a new home in the Kalos region where we meet Serena, a character we get very well acquainted with in this season who gets woken up by her mother's fletchling as she has some training to get ready for with a Rhyhorn for some Rhyhorn racing. Now we catch back up with Ash as his plane touched down in the region with Alexa exiting with him, entering the region the only way he would perfectly know how, by falling. At the end of the last season, Alexa revealed to Ash that her sister is a gym leader and the two should meet right away. But upon arriving, we find out that her sister is the gym leader for a different town and is away at the moment. Ash is a little bummed, but he did get to have this encounter with a familiar yet unfamiliar Pokemon. You and I both know that that Pokemon he saw was just a special form of the Pokemon Blaziken, but we shall get into the whole Mega Evolution thing as we get into it in the show. For now, this is a mystery chicken. Ash is pushed in the direction of Lumiose City to seek out his first gym battle as Alexa parts ways with him for now, and they seem to have enjoyed each other's company from the end of the last season and the first initial episode of this one. When Ash now arrives in the city, he heads straight to the gym, disregarding only having Pikachu with him and not having any prep just yet. And even more so, he doesn't have enough badges to face the gym leader yet, being told that he needs 4 badges first before he can fully enter the gym and challenge the leader. Ash and Pikachu then get shocked and dropped through a trap door where 2 new characters come to rescue him, Clement and his younger sister, Bonnie. Clement helps Ash initially while Bonnie catches Pikachu, doing one thing that Pikachu can't stand: being smothered in a hug, specifically even more so from a stranger, getting to a point where he ends up shocking her. She apologizes to Pikachu and Ash makes some introductions, so the 3 of them here all become a little more familiar with each other. He explains where he is from and what he is here in the region for, as they head to an open field for Ash to have his first battle in the new region with Clement, as he is open for a battle with him.
Who's that Pokemon? It's Furfrou!
During this time, a random Froakie is watching all of this happen, and for those that don't know, this is the water starter for the Kalos region. Clement sends out his Bunnelby, with Ash just going with Pikachu. I mean, who else are you gonna choose here, right? Bunnelby seems to be ready to counter the electrical attacks coming his way, even holding his own when attacks like Electro Ball or Iron Tail come at him. Unfortunately, the battle doesn't get to go anywhere thanks to Team Rocket making their debut this season and interrupting the battle. As Ash is getting into facing Team Rocket, the random Froakie jumps in to help, giving Clement an open shot for the Bunnelby to send Team Rocket flying, as Pikachu now finishes them off, with Froakie passing out from the injuries it sustained from jumping into the battle. This was almost a cut and paste from Oshawott from the last generation, but here, Froakie didn't outright save the day. He just helped take on some direct attacks and allowed the others to get some direct hits on Team Rocket. In return for the help, they all bring Froakie to the professor for the region, Professor Sycamore, at his laboratory. In the meantime, we cut back to Serena for a moment, who is clearly having some struggles training with the Rhyhorn for her racing, being knocked off while her mother watches in disappointment. But while this character is being built up and introduced in the background, Ash and his new friends here arrive at Professor Sycamore's lab, getting the Froakie some immediate help, as Ash is told by the professor that the trainer who claimed Froakie to start their Pokemon adventure had already abandoned the Pokemon. Again, while being another trope we have seen countless times, at least it's not another fire-type starter that's getting abandoned. But this time though, it wasn't for the trainer just being a prick and not wanting to care for the Pokemon or thinking Froakie isn't strong enough, it was for Froakie not wanting to give the trainer commitment to training together, refusing to listen to them. This doesn't happen just once, but multiple times to multiple trainers. Ash ponders on this and chooses to stick around and wait for Froakie to heal up so he can properly thank the Pokemon and give him some respect back. Here is where we learn about what Mega Evolutions are, as the professor is researching more about how certain Pokemon can temporarily evolve into a stronger form through these Mega Evolutions before turning back to the form they were before. 2 things are necessary to help the certain Pokemon achieve this level of power, and that's thanks to mostly these Mega Stones, along with a strong bond between Pokemon and their trainer in most cases. But Team Rocket gets in the mix once again, listening in on everything and trying to disguise themselves as scientists at the lab as well. A pretty helpful Garchomp that works at the lab with the professor gets sent into a rage as Team Rocket uses a device to try and control the Pokemon, causing quite the commotion now thanks to the series of Hyper Beams blasting in multiple directions. Froakie is now up and feeling feeling better, joining Ash and the others to help calm down and rescue the Garchomp. As things get more out of hand with Garchomp, Ash becomes the sole defense against the Pokemon. All of this is now being broadcast on the news, where even Serena's mother watches in question of what is going on. Ash's selflessness inspires Clement to not give up in helping as well, doing what he can to get himself and Bonnie up to where this confrontation is happening. Froakie helps secure the Garchomp down, with Pikachu getting a clear shot at the collar, causing Garchomp to act like this, breaking it and successfully calming the Garchomp back down to its calm nature. But now, being on top of this tower, Pikachu falls off as part of the tower begins to crumble after the altercation, and without a second thought, Ash jumps off the tower after Pikachu to catch him, leaving everyone in shock about what is happening. Ash is able to secure Pikachu, but before they both crash land to their deaths, the Mega Blaziken from earlier shows up and catches both of them and lands them safely in the plaza as the Pokemon quickly jumps away, giving us a glimpse as this mysterious trainer is waiting for Blaziken, as he is known as Blaziken Mask. You know, that name seems a little too on the nose for what we're looking at here. That's like pointing at Ash and calling him a Hat Kid. Serena is shown watching the news broadcast as well and has a memory come up of knowing Ash, claiming to have met him many years prior to this moment. After a night of rest from all of this, Ash is given an updated Pokedex for the region, but before Ash's new adventures can begin from here, waiting outside of the lab is none other than Froakie along with his original Pokeball, giving Ash a clear nod that he wants to join him on his adventures, and has enough respect for him, willing to give this trainer the chance to train with him, unlike the previous trainers he didn't. Ash is excited about this, as Froakie sends himself into the ball, giving Ash his first new Pokemon for the Kalos region, and the start of one of the closest Pokemon he will ever have on his journey thus far, despite Ash not knowing this yet. So far, as an intro, this is pretty exciting, and yet we haven't fully passed what I would consider the intro of the series, regardless of already being a couple episodes in. XY so far is clearly taking its time establishing Ash in the region, the morals that he carries, the new companions he will have along the way, and his mysterious new connection to Froakie. Speaking of his new companions, we take a look back at Serena for a moment once again, as she now wants to head to Professor Sycamore, having a familiarity with Ash and wanting to catch up with him, along with getting her first starter Pokemon for her own journey, with her mother recognizing Serena's wants to do this, but reminding her that she needs to keep practicing her skills in Rhyhorn racing. Thanks to Clement and Bonnie, Ash is brought to a Pokemon Center to register for the Kalos League before he officially starts earning some badges around the area, with Clement expressing to Ash clearly just how much he looks up to the type of person and trainer he is. The bravery he displayed by jumping into action to help the Garchomp without so much as a second thought showcased his character, with Clement drawing from that the strength that he wants to have for himself personally. Once Ash is all set and registered for his adventures here, Clement and Bonnie make the decision that they would like to travel with him, asking Ash if they could join him further, to which he excitedly would love for them to do so. Now this new trio make their way together to Santaloon City, where Ash can officially take place in his first ever gym battle. Immediately they run into a new Pokemon, Dedenne, but before Ash could even consider wanting to catch the new electrical Pokemon, Bonnie is extremely infatuated with it, with Clement asking Ash if he can have it for his sister, to which Ash agrees, but the Dedenne gets the berry just given to it taken away by a Fletchling, causing the Dedenne to start crying as it now runs away, leaving Bonnie just as much of an emotional wreck. Froakie, on behalf of Bonnie, gets pretty irritated about this and attempts to face off against the bird, and doesn't listen to Ash when he tries to strategize with the water frog, showing us examples of how Froakie may have operated in the past with other trainers. Ash does get a chance to calm Froakie down and stop him from wildly going after the Fletchling, listening to Ash as he plans out their strategy to battle the bird and hopefully catch it. Clement, who is an inventor of sorts, tries using a device to bring in flying-type Pokemon, but it doesn't work quite right, and instead it attracts a swarm of Beedrill, reminiscent to the multiple other times a swarm of Beedrill have been a problem for our main characters. Eventually, after running away from the swarm and messing with the machine so much, it explodes, causing them all to fly out of the direct area and away from the Beedrill, leaving Clement disappointed in himself for not having the invention working. Ash does what Ash does best and cheers Clement up by telling him how cool it was that he created a device that can attract Pokemon directly to it, despite it being a swarm of Beedrill. It's a nice trait that Ash has when it comes to his friends, even ones that he's just met, giving Clement more to look up to about him. Ash now plans with Froakie how to go after the Fletchling, being able to get close enough for Froakie to send in an attack, but the Fletchling is clearly toying with them, soaring higher to evade the attacks, but gets tricked over a fake Froakie, leaving it open for Ash to throw a Pokeball at it, but the Fletchling quickly escapes from it. Froakie is able to land a direct hit, sending the bird plummeting towards the ground, but Ash throws another Pokeball, capturing it before the Fletchling crash lands. Afterwards, Fletchling comes back out as Bonnie decides to teach it the values and morals of not stealing, and makes peace with the bird. Dedenne is witnessing this from afar and doesn't make itself himself known to the others for the time being.
Now a word from our sponsor.
Shout out to today's sponsor, Displate. Displates are one-of-a-kind metal posters designed to capture your hobbies and passions to decorate your wall space with. Clearly, I have a lot of hobbies and passions that I like to showcase online, and now thanks to Displate, I can easily show them bigger and bolder on my walls as well. Displate was kind enough to send over a few, just some of my favorite things in the world here, and it was a lot easier to put up than I even imagined. The best part about it is how it doesn't require tools to hang up, and even better than that, no damage is done to my walls either. It took me seconds to do, literally. I can interchange them whenever I want to look at a different display instead, and I couldn't be happier with the quality of the posters as well. I'm also a big metal fan. And no, I'm not talking about the music genre, I'm talking about the material of the poster, mainly because it makes this sound. Displate has licenses from some of the biggest IPs out there that you can think of, from video game franchises to your favorite big screen blockbusters, and even more to fit into your different interests you have. Even just some really cool works done by some talented artists that you can discover as well. And with my link in the description, you can score yourself a discount on some displates. Use my discount code Jordan and get 20% off your first 1 or 2 displates and even 30% off your purchase of 3 or more displates. Honestly, I think these are just really cool. They're made in Europe, they ship out and deliver within 4 to 5 business days, and ordering from Displate helps support this channel directly. And I'm already looking at the next set of them that I'm going to order. Thanks again to Displate for sponsoring today's video. Serena ends up at Professor Sycamore's lab, curious about Ash further, but also ready to get her starter Pokemon for her own adventure. Learning where Ash and company have gone off to, and now having to make the decision about which starter Pokemon she would like to choose. Will it be Froakie, the water starter, Chespin, the grass starter, or Fennekin, the fire starter? She had pretty much already made up her mind, going with Fennekin, and as a Fennekin appreciator myself, that's a solid choice. With her now heading towards Ash, Ash and friends are taking some time to eat and recover from their adventures thus far, as Dedenne sneaks in to take some food before running away, causing them to follow it. In doing so, Pikachu and Dedenne get separated from everyone else, forcing the two to work together to get back to the others, with Team Rocket seeing a chance to get both of them. The two fend off the attempts to get them as they now end up in a river, with Fletchling help spotting them for Ash and friends to go meet back up with. Clement brings out another invention that can help quickly recharge Dedenne, who isn't in the best condition right now from everything that had just happened. While the invention works at helping Dedenne, it quickly turns into a problem once it won't turn off and it explodes. So that seems like a constant running trope for Clement in his inventions. When Team Rocket comes back into the picture, Dedenne helps fend them off with Pikachu, as Clement is able to catch the Dedenne as he lets Bonnie play with and take care of the Pokemon like she wanted to all along. While they continue on from there, Serena isn't too far behind, dealing with the Vespa Queen and eventually making her way to a Pokemon Center near her. Serena gets to spend some time at that Pokemon Center, just being happy to be on her own adventure and away from training for Rhyhorn Racing, eager to catch up with Ash soon enough. Speaking of him, he runs into Viola, a photographer who helps point him in the direction of the gym, which he quickly continues running up to. At the gym, a Helioptile who is excited to see Ash is there, as this is the same one who belongs to Alexa, the journalist Ash traveled with to the region, as she is there as well, with Viola coming back around from just moments ago, as she is the sister Alexa was mentioning from last season, meaning that yes, Viola is the gym leader, and reveals that she specializes in bug-type Pokemon and loves sharing her photography of them. Bonnie awkwardly tries to wingman her older brother, telling Viola to be Clement's wife, with Clement pulling her away from annoying Viola. Ash begins his first ever gym battle for the Kalos region as Viola sends out her Surskit, as Ash sends out his Pikachu. Thanks to Surskit using Ice Beam, the ground becomes this skatable surface for it to move quickly. Even with Pikachu putting up some strong attacks, Surskit has a good advantage here now and is able to take out Pikachu pretty easily in the end, much to Ash's surprise. Now he sends out Fletchling while Serena arrives and gets invited by Alexa to join in and watching for now. She excitedly watches Ash as him and his Fletchling are able to defeat the Surskit, as she now sends out her Vivian, who quickly traps Fletchling within a sticky web that the Surskit had left previously, keeping the bird from flying away, as Vivian uses a solar beam to directly hit Fletchling, causing Ash to lose his first gym battle in the region and in front of Serena. Ash immediately asks for a rematch soon, to which Viola accepts, with Ash now heading to the Pokemon Center to heal his team back up. Serena was hesitant to say something to him as he rushed out of the building, but since he forgot his backpack, she decided to bring it to him there. The sisters then discuss Ash, with Viola seemingly unenthusiastic about Ash's abilities as a trainer, even thinking that there wasn't this strong bond between him and his Pokemon based on how they operated together in battle. Alexa is on Ash's side though, saying not to downplay Ash so easily and that the rematch may go completely different. Serena arrives at the Pokemon Center handing Ash his backpack while he's deep in thought as Clement and Bonnie say hello hello to her, not having the chance during the battle to formally meet, with Ash apologizing for not even noticing that she was there and was watching. Serena wanted to say something further to Ash, but she gets cut off as Ash's Pokemon are returned to him fully recovered from the battle. Alexa also stops by, wanting to help train Ash before the rematch, testing out his Pokemon skills against the move Gust, using her Noivern to use this move against his two Pokemon. Even then, both of the Pokemon are then blown away as Ash jumps to catch both of them so they don't get hurt from it, having the chance to verbally hype up his Pokemon to do their best and that they can overcome this. After another test, while faring a bit better, both Pokemon can't handle the attack thrown their way, with Ash worrying how he will be able to defeat Viola at this rate. Serena finds an opening to speak with Ash further, handing him a handkerchief to use and asking Ash if he remembers who she is, as she has been thinking about this moment so deeply since noticing that he is in the region. Sadly, he doesn't fully remember who she is, which, ouch, that sucks, but he does remember what she is referencing, which was a special Pokemon summer camp that Professor Oak had run. This leaves her kinda bummed about it, traveling all the way thinking about how this would play out. She further explains that Ash told her back then to never give up until it's over. While appreciating hearing that, he gets back into training for the night, and by dinner, Ash thinks that he has a strategy to go up against Viola with, looking forward to showing it off during the battle. Also, Clement has another invention he makes explode on him. Just wanted to point that out. And now it's time for the official rematch as they start out the same way, Surskit versus Pikachu. Thanks to Ash's training, Pikachu is able to deal with the icy battlefield, with Ash having Pikachu lodge his tail into the ice for balance, being able now to aim a Thunderbolt with accuracy to knock out the Surskit. As she prepares to send back out her Vivillon, Ash calls Pikachu back, swapping out for his Fletchling instead for another rematch. While having a better fighting chance, Fletchling still gets overpowered by Vivillon's Sleep Powder and Solar Beam combo, resulting in the bird now being knocked out. Pikachu comes right back out and needs to clutch the win here, but with Vivillon's Sleep Powder, Ash is worried that he can't break through to defeat it. Serena calls out to Ash to keep his determination up, giving Ash the confidence to stay in the fight, having Pikachu attack himself to zap away the sleep effects on him. Pikachu sends in another attack that directly hits Vivillon, knocking it out, giving Ash his first gym battle win in the Kalos region and his first badge, the Bug Badge. He credits his win to all of his new friends who helped him in training to be able to pull this off as he now heads in the direction of the next gym battle. Before they go, Ash asks Serena what she plans on doing now, leaving her a bit Pokemon can't handle the attack thrown their way, with Ash worrying how he will be able to defeat Viola at this rate. Serena finds an opening to speak with Ash further, which Viola accepts, with Ash now heading to the Pokemon Center to heal his team back up. Serena was hesitant to Queen and eventually making her way to a Pokemon Center near her. Serena gets to spend some time at that Pokemon Center, just being happy to be on her own adventure and away from training for Rhyhorn Racing, eager to catch up with Ash soon enough. Speaking of him, he runs into Viola, a photographer who helps point him in the direction of the gym, which he quickly continues running up to. At the gym, a Helioptile who is excited to see Ash is there, as this is the same one who belongs to Alexa, the journalist Ash traveled with to the region, as she is there as well, with Viola coming back around from just moments ago, as she is the sister Alexa was mentioning from last season, meaning that yes, Viola is the gym leader and reveals that she specializes in bug-type Pokemon and loves sharing her photography of them. Bonnie awkwardly tries to wingman her older brother, telling Viola to be Clement's wife, with Clement pulling her away from annoying Viola. Ash begins his first ever gym battle for the Kalos region as Viola sends out her Surskit, as Ash sends out his Pikachu. Thanks to Surskit using Ice Beam, the ground becomes this skatable surface for it to move quickly. Even with Pikachu putting up some strong attacks, Surskit has a good advantage here now and is able to take out Pikachu pretty easily in the end, much to Ash's surprise. Now he sends out Fletchling while Serena arrives and gets invited by Alexa to join in watching for now. She excitedly watches Ash as him and his Fletchling are able to defeat the Surskit, as she now sends out her Vivillon, who quickly traps Fletchling within a sticky web that the Surskit had left previously, keeping the bird from flying away as Vivillon uses a Solar Beam to directly hit Fletchling, causing Ash to lose his first gym battle in the region and in front of Serena. Ash immediately asks for a rematch soon, to which Viola accepts, with Ash now heading to the Pokemon Center to heal his team back up. Serena was hesitant to say something to him as he rushed out of the building, but since he forgot his backpack, she decided to bring it to him there. The sisters then discuss Ash, with Viola seemingly unenthusiastic about Ash's abilities as a trainer, even thinking that there wasn't this strong bond between him and his Pokemon based on how they operated together in battle. Alexa is on Ash's side though, saying not to downplay Ash so easily and that the rematch may go completely different. Serena arrives at the Pokemon Center handing Ash his backpack while he's deep in thought as Clement and Bonnie say hello to her, not having the chance during the battle to formally meet, with Ash apologizing for not even noticing that she was there and was watching. Serena wanted to say something further to Ash, but she gets cut off as Ash's Pokemon are returned to him fully recovered from the battle. Alexa also stops by, wanting to help train Ash before the rematch, testing out his Pokemon skills against the move Gust, using her Noivern to use this move against his two Pokemon. Even then, both of the Pokemon are then blown away as Ash jumps to catch both of them so they don't get hurt from it, having the chance to verbally hype up his Pokemon to do their best and that they can overcome this. After another test, while faring a bit better, both Pokemon can't handle the attack thrown their way, with Ash worrying how he will be able to defeat Viola at this rate. Serena finds an opening to speak with Ash further, handing him a handkerchief to use and asking Ash if he remembers who she is, as she has been thinking about this moment so deeply since noticing that he is in the region. Sadly, he doesn't fully remember who she is, which, ouch, that sucks, but he does remember what she is referencing, which was a special Pokemon summer camp that Professor Oak had run. This leaves her kinda bummed about it, traveling all the way thinking about how this would play out. She further explains that Ash told her back then to never give up until it's over. While appreciating hearing that, he gets back into training for the night, and by dinner, Ash thinks that he has a strategy to go up against Viola with, looking forward to showing it off during the battle. Also, Clement has another invention he makes explode on him. Just wanted to point that out. And now it's time for the official rematch as they start out the same way, Surskit versus Pikachu. Thanks to Ash's training, Pikachu is able to deal with the icy battlefield, with Ash having Pikachu lodge his tail into the ice for balance, being able now to aim a Thunderbolt with accuracy to knock out the Surskit. As she prepares to send back out her Vivillon, Ash calls Pikachu back, swapping out for his Fletchling instead for another rematch. While having a better fighting chance, Fletchling still gets overpowered by Vivillon's Sleep Powder and Solar Beam combo, resulting in the bird now being knocked out. Pikachu comes right back out and needs to clutch the win here, but with Vivillon's Sleep Powder, Ash is worried that he can't break through to defeat it. Serena calls out to Ash to keep his determination up, giving Ash the confidence to stay in the fight, having Pikachu attack himself to zap away the sleep effects on him. Pikachu sends in another attack that directly hits Vivillon, knocking it out, giving Ash his first gym battle win in the Kalos region and his first badge, the Bug Badge. He credits his win to all of his new friends who helped him in training to be able to pull this off as he now heads in the direction of the next gym battle. Before they go, Ash asks Serena what she plans on doing now, leaving her a bit stunned in the moment to the question. Ash jumps in before she can answer, offering her to join on with them as a group, to which she happily agrees to do, making the group an official team of 4 companions for the first time since the Ruby and Sapphire era.
Really
Serena ends up explaining to Clement why she wanted to join the crew, fully going back to the handkerchief, which was Ash's in the first place. But at the summer camp all those years ago, she ended up lost at one point in the woods, getting her knee injured after being jump scared by a Poliwag. Ash eventually finds her and uses the handkerchief to wrap it around her leg, then helping her back up as he gave her the original advice of never giving up until it's over. Continuing on to then help her get out of the forest and safely back to the camp itself, as she never forgot that moment, with Ash now fully remembering the whole thing, accepting the return of the handkerchief. We spend some time getting a bit into the whole Rhyhorn racing stuff with Serena, as she teaches Ash about it and how to do it. But later on, Serena ends up baking some cookies, storing them in a container and giving them to Ash as a personal thank you for what he did for her back at summer camp. Clearly, there is a spark of some feelings here, and one thing Ash really doesn't deal with in Pokemon is a love interest written into the show. Now, this is early in their journeys together here, and a lot more happens, but it genuinely is just really sweet.
Who's that Pokemon?
We then get a major reveal about Clement in his past, going back to the whole first gym Ash approaches having a badge limit and the technology there refusing to let him in. Well, Clement here is, or was, the gym leader of that gym, but it drained him, taking up all of his free time from getting to work on his true passions of being an inventor. So one day he came up with an idea to build a robot to act like him and stand in place as the gym leader, giving him the name Clembot, and, well, things got out of hand. He programmed a difficulty level to the Clembot that focused on trainer skills that are equal to those who have 4 badges or so, with Clembot quickly turning on him for not having any badges. Suffice to say that the Clembot took over the gym and won't allow those with under 4 badges to enter, and Clement has failed multiple attempts to sneak in and fix the problem. Upon all sneaking in together, Clement says the correct code that bypasses the gym badge limit and is able to face off against his own creation. He's able to mostly defeat the Clembot in battle, taking making an open opportunity to fix the programming, earning control of the gym once more. He makes a decision though, going to speak with his father regarding the whole being a gym leader thing, wanting to go on this adventure with Ash as his father understands, giving his children a hug and supporting his choice. Later on, Clement promises Ash a full-on gym battle with him as the leader once he does have 4 badges, and it will be a fight to remember. In the night though, the Mega Blaziken and Blaziken Mask are still around as later on the Vigilante and his Mega Pokemon cross paths once more with the group. It's also revealed to us, the audience, that the Blaziken Mask is actually Clement and Bonnie's father. Go figure. Clement also becomes the trainer of the last regional starter not owned yet in the group, Chespin, which is nice to see that the starters are spread between all of the main characters here, rather than just in Ash's party. On their way to the next gym, Ash spends time with Froakie for a while, being able to truly get in some training with him. Eventually, Ash learns about the Battle Chateau, where certain formal ranks can be given out and earned by taking place in battles there. So of course Ash wants in, and needing to abide by the rules, he can only battle certain ranks based on his own basic ranking. To earn the title of Baron rank, Ash must battle with Chester, a trainer who is going to use a Fletchling against Ash's Pikachu. The battle isn't anything too fancy, despite the fancy situation they're all in, as Pikachu is able to defeat the Fletchling, and Ash now being granted a white cloak along with the new title of Baron. Viola is there for her own battle to go for a new ranking, but loses to Grant, who ends up being the gym leader for the next city's gym that Ash looks forward to facing soon. Serena ends up finding a hobby or passion all her own with that of Pokevisions, these self-made TV programs that feature trainers making some sort of fun or informational video about them and their Pokemon. It's like YouTube, but on TV, so I guess it's more like public access television. Clement has the gear and the gadgets to actually produce something like this, as Serena wants to make one. Everyone seems to be on board to making this happen, aside from Ash, who just wants to train in preparation for his next battle. So a bunch of shenanigans happen here, with Ash mostly just training. Later on, they run into Alexa again as they end up helping her with her next article and seeing some really cool Pokemon along the way. Ash still spends some more time after this training for his battle with Grant, and knowing the power of Grant's Onix from witnessing firsthand how powerful its Rock Tomb attack is. He tries to come up with a way that he can counter this move, pointing his strategy towards Froakie's high leaping abilities. Once arriving in Silage City, Ash wastes no time in making his way to the gym, which happens to reside on the top of a mountain overlook that he must climb to reach it. Before Ash even has a chance to battle, he gets a new kind of challenge here, one that harkens back to stuff from the Orange Islands, where Grant challenges him to scale the wall while his friends get to use this handy elevator to make their way up. After doing so, Grant explains that he climbs the walls to find a balance of concentration, along with keeping a calm composure. Regardless, the real battle starts, with Grant sending out Onix first and Ash sending out his Froakie. Onix proves to be the fierce opposing Pokemon that Ash had worried about, with Froakie taking this challenge head on with full determination, finally being able to use those high jumps to scale the beast and directly hit Onix with a water pulse that ultimately knocks the rock snake out. Grant now sends out a Tyrant. It's not a shiny blue one like the one I recently caught in Pokemon Go, but it's still cool, I guess. Ash stays steady rocking with Froakie on the field, but the mini T-Rex is able to defeat Froakie fairly fast. Ash sends out Fletchling next, and even though the rest of the battle is fierce, this little bird is able to show off some skill in battle finally, but just not enough to win, being knocked out as well. Pikachu comes out as Ash's last hope to win the battle, and thanks to his Iron Tail attack, Pikachu is able to counter Tyrant's Rock Tomb attacks, getting in close for a direct Thunderbolt attack, knocking out Tyrant and giving Ash the win in the battle. Grant was extremely impressed with Ash in this battle though, and tells him he truly earned this win, as Grant grants Ash with his second badge, the Cliff Badge. With Ash being pointed in the direction of the next gym based on Serena's suggestion of where to go, Grant warns Ash that the next gym battle he may face, there will be some differences than what he has faced before, getting him both excited to see what that means and somewhat a bit concerned about what that means. Along the way to the next gym, the group gets distracted by a special exhibition battle with the champion of the Kalos region, Diantha, who also doubles as a famous actress. Based on her status as the regional champion, Ash wants a battle with her, while the others are just excited to meet her. While she is kept away from the public who is chomping at the bit to meet her, Professor Sycamore shows up and is able to sneak the group into a back area as he is studying the Mega Evolution abilities of Diantha Diantha's Pokemon, a Gardevoir. Ash tries to go to the room next to them to speak with Diantha, but she opens the door, surprising all of them. Her manager quickly appears though, telling them that she is too busy at the moment, and she invites them to hang around and watch her battle, to which she wins and swiftly leaves for a movie shoot that she was scheduled to go be at. With nothing the group can really do now, they decide to go and get some of the town's famous cake, which upon arriving to get some, the line is very long, but they're able to at least grab one last slice before they run out. Before they can even share this slice though, they notice a lady saddened over not being able to get one. This lady turns out to be Diantha, to which the group offers her their slice, and Bonnie offers her to marry Clement. Ash though takes the opportunity to ask her for a battle, to which she accepts. But not long into this battle, Team Rocket interrupts things as usual, and now we get to witness a full Mega Evolution process take place, with Gardevoir turning into a Mega Gardevoir, who makes quick work of Team Rocket. Right after, her manager shows back up and needs to take her away, back to her busy schedule. Clearly, she tries to sneak off in disguise to have some sort of normalcy, like just trying to get a slice of cake, but between her acting schedule and her battling schedule, she doesn't get much freedom from the limelight anymore. So she enjoyed her segue from work with Ash and company as she looks forward to a full-on battle with Ash down the road. From here, they run into a girl named Karina who is on roller skates, traveling along with her Lucario. They challenge Ash to a battle as she is on a winning streak and wants to earn their 99th win in a row. Of course, Ash accepts this, and the two of them get right into it, with Lucario being her choice and Pikachu being Ash's. Lucario wastes no time in taking out Pikachu with a barrage of attacks, earning her the win, but hands over a citrus berry for Pikachu to heal up as they proceed to have lunch together, and surprise, she's the gym leader for Shallower City, the place Ash was heading anyway. She reveals to the group that Lucario can't Mega Evolve yet, as she doesn't have the Mega Stone for it. In the meantime of not having the stone required, she has been building up the strongest bond possible with her Lucario, looking forward to earning her 100th win hopefully soon. And thanks to an altercation with Team Rocket, the 100th battle is decided for her as it becomes a double battle with Ash and Karina facing off against Jesse and James. Of course, they defeat them with ease, and this marks her and Lucario's 100th official battle win in a row. Karina wants to now set off and search for the Mega Stone for Lucario, as Ash and company ask to tag along for now, wanting to be there for this special occasion upon hopefully finding it, to which she agrees. Little do they know that this whole ordeal would turn into one big side quest for their adventures, spanning several episodes. On their path to find the stone, they get pointed in the right direction from this photographer named McGinty. No, not Troy McGinty from Max Keeble's Big Move, but he does take a nice photo of them all where Serena scoots closer to Ash a bit. How cute. They then enter a cave system where the stone could possibly be, when a Blaziken guards the path forward, getting into a heated battle with Lucario. As things aren't looking too good for them, Ash stops Serena from interfering with the battle, claiming that this is Karina's fight to overcome, as he helps encourage her to not give up. When Lucario is able to finally get the upper hand, Karina's grandfather appears and informs her that she has won the battle, and this was her final trial before getting the Mega Stone for Lucario, the Lucario Knight. Yeah, I feel the same way you feel about the naming structure here. In her excitement, she celebrates by Mega Evolving Lucario for the first time. Ash offers another battle to Karina so she can test out the strength that Mega Lucario has, but during the battle, Mega Lucario begins getting more enraged, having its eyes glow red and battling with some dirty tactics. Karina tries to stop Mega Lucario, but it won't listen to her as Ash jumps in to protect Pikachu, and her grandfather sends out his own Lucario to fend off Karina's. Luckily, her Lucario returns to normal form and passes out. At the Pokemon Center now, her grandfather explains that this power is new to Lucario, and it can be easy for Lucario to become overwhelmed and uncontrollable, as Karina needs to work with Lucario in controlling the power it draws from the stone. He takes her outside for a battle between Lucarios as they both are Mega Evolved and face off for training, but the battle doesn't go as planned for her still, with her grandfather letting her know that her Lucario is too prideful in its abilities and that she doesn't fully understand her Lucario enough to have the proper bond needed. Before she can continue her gym leader duties, she is sent to a mountain to train further against another trainer that has a Pokemon that can Mega Evolve. Ash and company tag along and try to keep her in positive spirits about her training. On their way to the mountain, they have some time to train and eventually have another run-in with Team Rocket, where Lucario wants to Mega Evolve, and through this battle, Karina goes in and out of being able to control the Mega Lucario. having moments where it can break through and listen, but also having moments where it cannot be controlled before fainting once more. Now at the mountain, a trainer named Mabel and her Mawile are there, getting into a battle with one another's Mega Evolved Pokemon to test out their strength, with the Mega Mawile taking the win. Clement has another invention blow up, but aside from that, Karina is able to learn and train properly to fully control Mega Lucario, and things are all swell. Ash ends up deciding to go train some more, knowing that his actual battle with Karina will be a tough one as she then departs from the group. During this period of time, Ash is able to come across the Pokemon Hawlucha, and becomes pretty determined on wanting this powerful Luchador on his team. Through helping its escapades in the forest of earning the reigning champ title of Forest Champion, Ash extends an offer to Hawlucha to join his team, to which it agrees as Ash sends out Froakie to battle. The two end up colliding, causing a double knockout, but Ash thanks Hawlucha for a great battle overall, and officially Hawlucha joins Ash's team. Compared to last season, it's about time Ash caught another Pokemon already. Furthering his training, Ash gets familiarized with air battles. They're just like regular battles, but they're done in the air. Go figure. During his battle where his Hawlucha is facing off against a Talonflame, the fully evolved form of Fletchling, Ash's Fletchling watches the battle to study Talonflame. And thanks to Hawlucha's gliding abilities and not flying abilities, Hawlucha loses the battle, causing Fletchling to get a chance at battling its final form. As Fletchling falls behind though in this battle, the determination it has helps evolve it into a Fletchinder, learning some new fire-related moves to boot. This new burst of power and speed fully helps Fletchinder defeat the Talonflame and feel pretty confident. After a few more side adventures and even some time going to a summer camp similar to the one that Ash and Serena both originally met at, the group arrive at Karina's gym, with Ash being ready to face her in an official gym battle this time. Both trainers seem more ready than ever to battle, with Karina back on a winning streak and Ash having had some time to train up for this battle. But first we have a fun and weird part. This is not the stuff in which Grant warned us about some time ago, but we'll see more of that as they have to face the Tower of Mystery, which is currently inaccessible thanks to water blocking off the pathway to reach the island. Yeah, so here in the meantime, Ash ends up having to dance after trying to adapt a groovin' battle style. No, not that battle styles, get that out of here. So to train, Clement pulls out his not a very good dancer automated good dancing device to help, but it blows up, and Ash isn't a good dancer. So Serena offers to help Ash learn to find this rhythm, but after several hours, nothing gets much better. Eventually, the tide opens up for them to cross to the island that houses the Tower of Mystery. Karina's grandfather appears once more, telling Ash the rules of the tower here. They get told the history of the first ever Mega Evolution and how it started with Lucario, and through generations their family has protected Mega Evolution Island. They all then share in a dinner, Team Rocket tries stealing a sacred and secret scroll, they all rescue it back, and as the next day arrives, it's officially time to battle. Karina sends out Mienfoo as her first Pokemon, with Ash choosing to send out his Hawlucha. The two go back and forth, but the Mienfoo is getting the upper hand as Ash has to tap into his training and dancing practice, following Serena's guidance of flowing with his own natural instincts. And from there, he is able to get into a flow with Hawlucha and take down the Mienfoo, netting the first win of the battle. She now sends out her Machoke as Ash swaps out for his Fletchinder, who gets a great chance to shine here. While still taking a few licks from Machoke, Fletchinder ends up clutching the victory with a Flame Charge. Now down to her last Pokemon, she sends out her Lucario and Mega Evolves it instantly, with Ash choosing to keep his Fletchinder in the fight. But Mega Lucario is a lot more focused now and in sync with Karina, being able to quickly defeat Fletchinder. Ash sends back out his Hawlucha for the battle, but once again, Mega Lucario is able to land some powerful attacks and direct hits, knocking out Hawlucha. Both down to their final Pokemon, Ash sends out Pikachu for the finisher. Even with some powerful attacks and countermeasures coming from Mega Lucario, Pikachu puts up a strong fight, being able to hit Mega Lucario with a direct Thunderbolt in the end that knocks it out, officially defeating Karina and earning Ash his third badge, the Rumble Badge. Karina shares in a bro fist with Ash, as they have a great respect for one another, as one day they may just battle again. As they set forward a path towards the next gym, Serena finds a purpose that she truly sees herself doing, and that's becoming a Pokemon performer, a goal that requires her to compete in Pokemon showcases to show off their relationship and bond to their Pokemon. But as for now, this is where we leave off for the first season of the XY anime. Lots of intense training, fun battles, and some really interesting characters have been met along the journey, but we still have so much more to dive into on the horizon.
Who's that Pokemon?
No free ads.
The Nunchu.
It's Fritzy!
Alright, time for a little reiteration. I've said this in many of the parts here when talking about this, but since each video is separate, we have to say this again. The Pokemon movies really have no impact on the main story of the anime, so I don't like to spend too much time going into all that happens in the films for these videos. The movies don't really take away anything from the journey, and they don't add anything to the journey. All I can really say is that sometimes they can emphasize the characters and their personal traits a bit, but no matter what, whatever happens by the end of the film, it won't impact the story. It won't impact who a character is, and you wouldn't miss anything in the anime if you didn't see a particular film. I'm still mentioning the movies at this point with them technically being canon, but it's just a loose side story that has no consequences to the overall bigger picture. The first XY film, Diancie and the Cocoon of Destruction, puts our characters into a situation having to deal with the mythical Pokemon Diancie, along with the two main legendaries from this generation, Xerneas and Yveltal. Here in the film, there is a whole society of Carbink that live within an area called the Diamond Domain, along with their ruler, a Diancie who isn't powerful enough to have the diamond creating powers needed to help keep alive and healthy the Heart Diamond that keeps their home alive. In terms of Pokemon just being Pokemon, the Carbink society seems to be a lot more advanced in many ways, as we see the Carbink having different names for themselves, being able to speak, and just operate differently from more animal-like ways of living that the majority of wild Pokemon do. Diancie's story here leads her to need the help of Xerneas to grant the power needed to her to be able to help the Heart Diamond. Along this journey, Diancie ends up meeting with Ash and friends, getting a bit distracted from her own story, and gets to experience a life outside of the society she's in, and all of the freedoms that come with that. After being distracted with Ash and everyone, she returns back to the Diamond Domain to find out that the Heart Diamond has died, sparking the others to help Diancie to do what she can in finding Xerneas, while some nefarious characters want to capture Diancie and use her powers for their own personal gain. Through this, that Cocoon of Destruction in the title comes into play, as it houses Yveltal, who gets disturbed by all that is going on, sending the Y legendary Pokemon into a rage, using its powerful attacks to turn humans and Pokemon into stone. Eventually, the only way to defend from Yveltal is Diancie finding the strength to Mega Evolve, being able to create a Heart Diamond that turns into a shield from Yveltal's attacks. Yes, the film has more death scares for our main characters and Pokemon like usual, but Xerneas ends up coming around to save the day, restore those that are technically dead, and ends up being able to calm Yveltal from its rage, and everything is okay. While the film has some fun and interesting Pokemon involved here in the mix, the balance of Yveltal's representation of death and Xerneas' representation of life just kind of leaves on a note of what you're getting at face value here. The deeper tone the movie was looking to explore comes off more surface level that acts as a pass to just give us an extra problem that's too out of hand that another Pokemon and their force has to come and solve it. Sure, Diancie gets to experience a new way of life as well as finding the strength to Mega Evolve, but that's really all there is to the story. Ash and friends are just involved in their more recent capacities of sidelined assistance, as some solutions to save the day are completely out of their control, and they're just as much viewers of what has happened as we are at moments. The characters just move forward on their journey as we continue on to the second season of the XY anime. See, I told you I was gonna keep it short when it comes to the film side of things. We continue our newest quest in the Kalos region with the next season of the XY era, XY Kalos Quest. The name just fits, you know? Not far into continuing on our way to the next gym battle, Ash spends time learning the ninja way, and his Froakie ends up evolving into a Frogadier. Serena even finds time to make peace with her mother regarding her own passions in life versus Rhyhorn racing, beating her in a Skidoo race and earning her mother's blessing to go after being a Pokemon performer. Ash even catches a new friend for his travels, Agumi. Eventually, the group gets to Coumarine City, where we get to meet Ramos, the gym leader for the city, before Ash officially goes to battle him. When Ash does go up to battle with him, he's more interested in tending to his gardening activities over rushing into a battle, giving Ash some advice about losing sight of what's important if you only look at what is in front of you. As we get into the battle though, Ramos sends out his Jumpluff as Ash uses Fletchinder. The Flame Bird is able to burn up the Jumpluff pretty easily, with Ramos now sending out his Weeping Bell next, who is able to poison and then slam Fletchling to take it out of the battle as well. Ash decides to send out his Hawlucha, but sadly Hawlucha ends up with the same fate that Fletchinder did, getting poisoned quickly and slowed down for an easy knockout. Ash is now down to his final Pokemon, choosing Frogadier to face the Weeping Bell, and through his skillful training with Ash, he is able to deflect and protect itself from the poison attacks and scores a direct aerial ace hit, knocking the Weeping Bell out. Ramos's final Pokemon for the battle is a Go-Go, but Frogadier uses a combo of Double Team and Water Pulse to take the Go-Goat out, resulting in Ash winning the battle and earning the Plant Badge. Ash has appreciated how much Serena has been supporting him, so he returns the favor, supporting her with her debut performance in a Pokemon showcase in the same city, hyping her up about it. In the meantime, the city is all decked out for a festival that celebrates trainers and their bonds with their Pokemon. The festivities center around giving special gifts to their Pokemon at the end of the main celebration day under a tall central tree called the Pledging Tree. This whole festival ties into some more traditional lore regarding the city itself, and of course our group here wants to share in the customs of the city. To keep the presents a surprise, Ash and Serena go out separately to look for the perfect gifts, while Clement wants to use his inventing powers to create the perfect gift. Bonnie, though, gets tasked with watching the Pokemon for all of them. As Ash and Serena are now on their own and getting some downtime from the main adventure, she starts getting awkward and a bit uncomfortable as the setting feels too intimate and could be mistaken along the lines of a date. Ash, though, couldn't be more oblivious or even focusing on anything but what they are actually out and about doing. We can already take note of Serena's feelings about Ash just from how her journey in the show begins, as well as their time training and hanging out together within the group, or even stuff like when she gifted him the cookies. So these feelings that she has may just come from herself being so uncomfortable about her own feelings, not fully wanting to confront them properly, at least for now. Ash at one point ends up going to look for something himself, as every time he finds something to think about, Serena has pointed out why it may not be the most practical or even personal gift he could choose, so they promise to meet back up at a certain area later on in the day. But after some time has passed, they meet back up as Serena has found the presents she thinks are perfect for her Pokemon, as Ash, not surprisingly, hasn't found a thing, being concerned that he doesn't know what the perfect gifts would be. As they get on the monorail together, Ash gets stopped for being the 1 millionth person to ride, given a blue ribbon and congratulated for doing so. This will mean something later, it's not just for random's sake. Ash talks to Serena about not being able to accomplish finding the right presents, as she points out that his Pokemon are very similar to him, specifically because of the bonds that they share, and instead she tells him to think about what he would want if he were given gifts. From this, Ash gets an epiphany and departs on his own as Serena heads back to Clement and Bonnie. Bonnie shows Serena the present that she's working on for all of the Pokemon, as it's a drawing that she made of all of them. Ash eventually returns with a large haul of gifts, and the group now head to the Pledging Tree to present the presents to their Pokemon. We see Serena and her Pokemon having a nice time as they receive their presents. Clement presents his invention of a music box, hopefully it doesn't blow up. Bonnie shows off her drawing as Ash then reveals to his Pokemon all that he got for them, which is a giant pile of berries, since the way to Ash's heart is food. So he figured it would be the same for his Pokemon as well, to which they all did enjoy. Before the day ends, there is one present left, and it's made out to Serena. Inside is a new dress sent in from her mother for her first Pokemon showcase. The night ends with some fireworks as Ash gives Serena a gift as well, being the blue ribbon that he was given earlier as a thank you for helping him in finding the perfect present for his Pokemon, as she is overwhelmed with joy over the sentiment, treasuring the ribbon for what it represents. I know that was all really sort of a side thing, but Ash's journey here regarding his friendship with Serena is pretty pivotal for this generation, and it's honestly just really sweet. Serena finally gets to perform in the showcase, to which she is understandably nervous, but uses advice from Ash to guide her into giving it her best shot, and that her doing this, whether she excels or fails at it, it was never a waste of time. At first, things seem to go well, until they don't, causing her to be out of the running to win the whole thing, being pretty bummed out about it, but not wanting to lose her composure fully to everyone around. Privately, she ends up breaking down and crying when looking out into the ocean, mixed with emotions of sadness for her loss, but grateful to be on the path that she is now. Before long, she takes out a pair of scissors to cut her hair and puts on a new outfit, adding on the ribbon that Ash had given her as a present to keep close to her and be a reminder of her own strength. From here, the group now head back on their journey to the next gym, which now will be back in Lumio City, where he was promised a special battle after having 4 other badges. During this time, Ash's Gumi ends up evolving into a Sliggoo, and even learns a new Dragon-type move as well. Clement even leaves the group for a bit to train before the battle with Ash, getting a chance to really be ready for this fight and delivering on a promise of a fight worth remembering. Ash also doesn't waste time in between either, getting a chance to work on his skills and train with his Pokemon, even getting a chance to battle with a side character that comes in and out of the series, Tierno. This double battle has Ash's Pikachu and Sliggoo facing off against Tierno's Wartortle and Raichu. Of course, anytime there is a Pikachu and Raichu related battle, it's exciting, but that's not the main focus here. Sliggoo is, especially when Team Rocket interrupts the battle and Sliggoo ends up evolving into its final evolution, Goodra. Afterward, when the battle continues, Ash ends up winning, putting him in high confident spirits as they arrive back in Lumio City, meeting back up with Clement, with them having to quickly deal with the Clumbot from earlier now being arrested and locked up based on some security footage of it committing crimes. So now they set off to prove the Clembot's innocence, especially after Clement already reformed the Clembot. This brings back in Alexa, who is there investigating the crimes for her journalism, and Blaziken Mask, aka Clement and Bonnie's father, to do his vigilante work. Clement is able to find evidence that it wasn't Clembot, but in fact this evil professor named Belmondo, and his own Clembot, Dark Clembot. Dude wants to be one of those dark Pokemon cards so bad. This leads to both of the Clembots having a battle until Team Rocket tries to get in the way and Blaziken Mask interferes to save them, while Belmondo and Clement finish the battle, where Clement wins and Belmondo is arrested. Blaziken Mask gets out of the area and everyone shifts back their focus to this gym battle. Clement starts the match using his Bunnelby as Ash chooses Pikachu to start things off. Bunnelby does try putting up an intense fight, but Pikachu is just ready to pull off a perfect counter and take Bunnelby out. Clement then sends out his Heliolisk, with Ash switching to Goodra. But when things seem to not be going in Goodra's favor here, Ash quickly swaps again and sends out Hawlucha for the battle. Don't get me wrong, Heliolisk has been putting up a solid fight here, but in a moment when Heliolisk is open, Hawlucha takes advantage of this with a close-up high kick that knocks the lizard out, leaving Clement down to his last Pokemon, sending out Luxray. Luxray, compared to the rest of the Pokemon on Clement's team, is clearly the most powerful here, and the one Pokemon he's been training to truly be at this power level, showing a strong force of power right away, knocking out Hawlucha and trying to turn the tides of the match. Pikachu comes back out to fight electricity with electricity, but Luxray's powers were too powerful for Pikachu, making the match even with one Pokemon left each. Goodra is back on the field and is able to match the force that Luxray itself is, countering its terrain-based abilities and able to end things off with Bide to knock Luxray out, resulting in Ash defeating Clement. I don't know personally if I'd call this a battle to always remember, but I'll give it to Clement. He almost completely flipped the match into his favor, but he still needs to work on training and strategy with his other Pokemon as well. They celebrate a good match against each other as Ash receives the Voltage badge, only needing 3 more badges for the region. Clement decides to continue on the road with the group, leaving the reformed Clembot to run battles and operations in the meantime as they all head to the next gym from there. Along the way, they all have some side adventures featuring stuff like meeting up with Professor Sycamore again, who helps his Garchomp Mega Evolve, as well as the professor finds out the identity of Blaziken Mask, as they then work together in researching more of the mysteries surrounding Mega Evolutions. We also get more time between Ash and Goodra as we learn about Goodra's home, with the end of this resulting in knowing that Goodra is happy back in the wetlands with the community of Pokemon there, and thanks to Ash's training, Goodra can be a powerful protector of the area for the others, and Ash has Goodra stay there, saying their goodbyes for now, promising to always be friends. Ash meets another trainer named Sawyer for the first time, and he wants to be where Ash is at, having more badges and seeing Ash as a skilled trainer. For now though, he wants a double battle with Ash, and of course, Ash accepts it, as Sawyer sends out his Trico and Bagon with Ash using his Frogadier and Hawlucha. But this all gets interrupted by a fashion show starting up, so there's that. Valerie, the gym leader for Lavier City, is also a big and famous fashion designer, so it all takes a higher importance at the moment. For this event, Sawyer is called up to battle against Valerie first, and Ash gets to witness her strategies before his match with her, with Sawyer losing this battle. Later on, Ash gets a chance to officially battle Valerie, with her sending out her Sylveon and Ash sending out Fletchinder. Also, Valerie likes to speak to her Pokemon like she's a Pokemon as well, you know, typical pet owner behavior. But the two Pokemon duke it out fairly well against one another, but Ash's Fletchinder is able to string enough attacks together to take Sylveon out. She then sends out her Spritzy, who tries with Trick Room to mess with Fletchinder, but Ash's strategy breaks through this and Fletchinder is able to boost up its stats thanks to Ash coming up with how to navigate this Pokemon from watching Sawyer's battle. In the end though, Spritzy is still able to hit back with a Moonblast that takes Fletchinder out as Ash now chooses to use his Hawlucha. With a bunch of back and forth between the two Pokemon, they get to show off just how powerful each of them are, giving each other a dose of direct attacks and counters. But Hawlucha here is able to end things off with a high jump kick, defeating Valerie and earning his 6th badge, the Fairy Badge. Sawyer feels both inspired to be a stronger trainer and wanting to learn directly from Ash, as they both agree on having another battle, this time hopefully finishing it. Throughout our time with Sawyer here, we get to see Ash take this mentorship role, really pushing up Ash's character for the trainer he has become thus far, showing full-on growth that isn't just explained, but it's shown. He directly coaches Sawyer to keep him calm and confident in battle, so it's really nice to see this level of maturity and responsibility Ash is displaying. For their battle, Sawyer sends out his Bagon to face off against Pikachu, with Pikachu eventually being the victor of the first round face-off. Next up, Sawyer sends out his Slurpuff, with Ash using Hawlucha. Thanks to Sawyer being too focused on his notebook full of tactics and strategies he tries to jot down, it becomes too late with his head in the books and not in the moment of the battle, and Hawlucha takes the second round. This is how Ash is able to directly connect the way he trains in battles to help Sawyer be more comfortable with not getting nervous and panicking mid-battle. Next up, Sawyer sends out Trico, as Ash sends out his Frogadier, with Frogadier having the upper hand at first, but Sawyer tries to take Ash's advice to heart, sticking to a calm demeanor and focusing directly on the battle. Due to the level-headedness, Sawyer's Trico is able to feel the same, finding the strength needed in the battle to evolve into a Grovyle, making the battle a bit more intense between the two mid-evolution Pokemon. While Grovyle is able to offer a way more explosive battle against Frogadier, Sawyer still ends up losing the match once Frogadier ends up defeating Grovyle. But Sawyer is a stronger trainer thanks to this battle and thanks to Ash, with both Pokemon forming their own little rivalry from there. Sawyer now heads off to train even more as both trainers look forward to another battle sometime in the future. As we head to the next gym, Ash ends up coming across a Pokemon egg that immediately hatches into a Noibat. And if you know me and my love for both Noibat and Noivern, then you know I'm very excited for this. They spend these first moments with the newborn Pokemon trying to calm it down and also save it from Team Rocket, resulting in Noibat not wanting to leave Ash's side going forward, thus joining Ash's team officially, excited to train and become a strong member of his team. I love it. In the past, specifically during the Ruby and Sapphire and Diamond and Pearl arcs, Ash has entered into some flying-based Pokemon competitions, and here Ash joins in on a Pokemon Sky Relay race, with Ash's Fletchinder, Hawlucha, and Noibat partaking in it. Through this process, Noibat is able to learn how to fly. Again, this is a newborn Pokemon, and there was no Mother Noivern around to help teach the young Pokemon to fly. So even though Ash didn't win here, only coming in right behind a Starly, Noibat is celebrated for overcoming the whole not knowing how to fly hurdle and doing his best to still take second place, never giving up. Harkening back to things like when Ash and company had an experience coming across Articuno in the anime itself, here we get another legendary bird encounter, this time with Moltres, with the bird going wild thanks to Team Rocket making Moltres angry and just plain irritated by humans, so it begins attacking them with their Pokemon trying to intervene. Through this, Fletchinder is doing all that it can do to help, being a fire-based bird as well, and from the attacks that it gets hit with and the determination to help Ash and the others, Fletchinder ends up evolving into its final evolution, a Talonflame. Ash ends up jumping in to catch Talonflame though once Moltres sends it flying to the ground, and more specifically, the magma down below. Frogadier ends up helping as well to help fashion its abilities into a rope for them to hang on to as they are saved from a crispy death. Moltres sees all of this and realizes that Ash and company are not the enemies here, and there is no need to attack, no longer feeling threatened. Once again, Ash's bonds with his flying-type Pokemon continue to grow, and even his relationship to Frogadier, which once again is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to what is next for the Frog's connection to Ash. Now being in Anistar City, we get more into the great lore packed into the XY era of the series, as well as we get to meet Olympia, the gym leader of the city who has special psychic abilities. No, not like Sabrina from back in the original generation, but in ways where she is able to predict certain things about the future. Beyond this, she can project these visions to show the others what she foresees, like this incredibly dark future crisis taking place in the Kalos region, further showing that Ash will have a significant role to play in all of this, and Professor Sycamore, who is there in the city as well, becoming some sort of leader figure that sets a path forward for some point of this whole future mishap. Vagueness aside, this is foreshadowing what is left to come in the series before everything in the Kalos region is wrapped up. Carrie, an apprentice of Olympia, decides to take things into their own hands when seeing this vision as well, interpreting it as the Professor and Ash are the problems in the situation, bringing about this supposed troubling future. As she begins going after them, Olympia interferes, making her stop what she is doing, as Carrie has some issues jumping to conclusions before fully understanding what the vision means. Once things are settled back down, Olympia goes further into what she showed them may just mean, expressing a direct correlation from another vision that involves Ash's Frogadier. That's so Raven over there talks about some sort of curious fate that Frogadier holds as we learn about Frogadier's past as a newly hatched Froakie, training hard by itself and not being fully integrated with the other Froakie around it in the wild. Being the odd one out, Froakie faced hardship amongst the others, being attacked and left injured by them, receiving help from a Nurse Joy, and learning to find the perfect trainer to work alongside to become the stronger version of itself. These standards of the perfect trainer caused us to get the story we already knew, with Froakie not willing to stick by the trainers that it perceived as too weak, and not being compatible with them to journey with. That is, until Ash came along. That missing quality that made Ash different was the universal emotion of love, understandable amongst any language and between species. The bond Ash and Frogadier have is incredibly incredibly strong as they both feel extremely close to one another. For some more foreshadowing, Ash and Frogadier are enlightened to more visions from Olympia expressing that Frogadier will evolve once more, and an even greater power that involves Ash will make itself clear soon enough. To what this means, they don't really know yet. For now, they assume it's in relation to Mega Evolving, but from all the research done on Mega Evolution, Greninja, the final evolution from Froakie, has no Mega Evolution form. With this information, everyone is a bit excited, albeit maybe a bit scared with some of those future Chaos visions, but none are more excited than Ash and Frogadier. But of course, there are other important matters to directly deal with now, and that's a gym battle, so Ash challenges Olympia to a battle to which she accepts. After dealing with a little attempted thievery from Team Rocket, Ash prepares for this gym battle, with Clement nervous for Ash going up against a powerful psychic trainer who can also see the future. Ash couldn't be more excited though, as the two prepare for Ash's attempt at his 7th badge in the region. This gym battle will be a lot of fun too, as it will be a double battle, with Olympia using both of her male and female Meowsticks at once, with Ash choosing to have a fire and water combo with Frogadier and Talonflame, despite Pikachu thinking he was going to be in the battle. Sorry Pikachu, Ash may have promised you that at the end of the last series you'd be training together to get stronger within the Kalos region, but this is really the Froakie Evolution Line series here. Both teams of Pokemon need to work together respectively to win, with both Meowsticks directly helping each other out in battle. With the battle being hard for Ash to overcome the power of the Meowsticks, and specifically the attack future sight, Ash does ask Pikachu for a favor in battle, building their bond in a different way where Pikachu meticulously watches the pair of cats to time when their moves are being used. This way, Pikachu can directly warn Ash when certain moves are being used, as this strategy helps Ash use the timing to his advantage, commanding his Pokemon to get the future sight attack to directly hit the other Meowstick. Frogadier and Talonflame get in sync with each other to both be protective and keeping each other from taking too much damage, as well as allowing a solid opening for them to land some attacks. Talonflame is able to hit one of the Meowsticks with a direct flame charge as Frogadier deals with breaking through his paralysis from them, ending up delivering a massive water pulse that defeats the Meowstick duo and winning Ash the battle. Through some incredible strategies and a strong bond between Ash and his team, he truly worked hard to win this battle, with Olympia even giving him and his Pokemon props for pulling off the win, noting that there was true love there that helped drive Frogadier to push through its paralyzed state to finish things off. Ash gets handed his badge for winning, the Psychic badge, but also receives a warning. Olympia expresses that if Ash and Frogadier don't move forward with a sincere purpose, that a great danger lies ahead for them. But on the contrary, both of them are going to reach these greater heights in all aspects, from their relationship to their strength and beyond. Olympia also speaks with the professor a bit more when he asked further about the vision from earlier. She responds with, "Green fire, a flickering green flame. I saw it engulf Kalos and threaten to consume all of the people and Pokemon in that swirling fire. You will all play a substantial role in the chaos and turmoil, and every one of the villains who tried to steal the sundial." This being in regards to the great chaos and danger she's been referring to from the vision, along with mentioning that even Team Rocket, the ones who tried to steal the sundial in the city from earlier, will have a part to play, because why wouldn't they? I guess they always do. Ash and company get given an updated Pokedex from Professor Sycamore before Ash sets forward a path to Snowbell City for his 8th and final badge, as we end this season seeing another vision through Olympia's eyes, revealing a pair of glowing green eyes piercing the screen. And wow, what a way to end. Everything this far has genuinely been so much fun, and Kalos Quest gave us an exciting middle season that does a great job at feeling important for Ash's training, his growth, and all the stories of the friends around him, but ending on such a high note for something of great importance to come in the next and final season for the XY generation. And so far, the XY anime has been nothing short of one of the most exciting and refreshing series yet, comparatively to everything else that has come before it. And yet, we have an explosive, lore-filled final season to still get to shortly.
Who's that Pokemon?
Treat yourself to fall with Tim's Pumpkin Spice Lattes, crafted just for you. Freshly ground espresso beans alongside frothy steamed or iced chilled milk, infused with delicious pumpkin spice. Choose hot or iced and make fall your treat. It's time for Tim's.
It's Pichu!
Our next film in the franchise is Hoopa and the Clash of Ages, and you truly better believe that it is. If you're looking for some crazy battles, a bunch of legendary Pokemon cameos, and the entrance of another mythical Pokemon, then yeah, this film has all of that for you. Hoopa's backstory has its portal rings appear in this desert village one day as it begins stealing food from the people of the town, causing them to get pretty upset until Hoopa begins to conjure up unlimited riches in return, helping build up the village into a wealthy and thriving place for the citizens to live. To show off the power that this Pokemon Pokemon has, it uses the portals to summon more powerful Pokemon to take on as it becomes thirsty for becoming even more powerful than it already is, getting into a problem when it starts summoning legendary Pokemon, causing the battles to become way more destructive, resulting in the village itself getting caught in the crossfire, giving concern to the citizens as one of them stands against this unbound power, sealing the unlimited strength from Hoopa in a bottle infused with the power of Arceus to trap it away from Hoopa, now putting Hoopa in its confined form, but still able to have its portal rings that have the power to summon both Pokemon and people. Even after 100 years of trying to help Hoopa understand the world around it, there is still a want of power that Hoopa believes it deserves to have, forming this quiet resentment for the time that it's lived in this village. And now, as all the years go on since all this happened, Ash and friends enter the picture now, as we have another character who has grown up with Hoopa, believing that the mythical Pokemon is ready and responsible to have that type of power let out of the bottle again. The power locked away though forces itself out when finding the opportunity, immediately causing destruction, making Hoopa transform into its unbound power form as they all quickly try to scramble to use Arceus' power with the bottle once more. Team Rocket, however, does their thing, and through this, the bottle ends up breaking, but Hoopa resists the evil powers, leading to the powers themselves forming a Shadow Hoopa all its own, with our heroes needing to now craft a new bottle to contain this evil as an all-out battle of legendary Pokemon commences. Hoopa and our main characters are able to bring forth their own team of legendary Pokemon to fight this Shadow Hoopa and its team of also legendary Pokemon. Hoopa here has this internal struggle in realizing that the power it can have is too overpowering, easily corrupting it to uncontrollable levels, but needing to come to terms with the humans that took the power away, understanding why rather than blaming them for stripping it away. It becomes a clear story about dealing with your own flaws and how we view the flaws of others, as well as how on both sides of the coin when facing these resentments, here metaphorically and physically, bottling them up and ignoring them or directly dealing with them, needing to come to terms to grow from it all. Of course though, it's full of fanfare with the Pokemon used for the battle, with Latios and Latias being summoned from the Pokemon Heroes movie, at least the ones that were around by the end of that film if you've seen it, as well as we bring back in Lugia here, and there's even a cool shiny Rayquaza, one that is able to Mega Evolve, so that's pretty neat. Shadow Hoopa brings back together again the Generation 4 legendaries with Palkia, Dialga, and Giratina, not even stopping there with now having the special primal forms of Groudon and Kyogre, and even Kyurem. Yeah, it's a giant sandbox spectacle of a battle along the likes of you playing with action figures of the most powerful legendary Pokemon you can think of and clashing them together with everything hitting a resolution, with Hoopa having to face its literal feelings and shedding this resentment, appreciating the people that did this in the first place as it found the one thing Vin Diesel wants to offer in life, and that's family. Feeling at home with the citizens in this city who for the past 100 years have accepted this Pokemon as their own and treated it like family even after the destruction. With the darkness in the unbound Hoopa fading away and a good and calm-natured unbound Hoopa is in the newly crafted bottle, the disaster isn't over yet. All of the summoning of these legendary beasts from their specific places in time and space cause a void to appear that starts tearing apart the area in response, as Hoopa asks for the powers of its unbound form to be released back to it, as they then directly take over Hoopa again. But with Hoopa now being able to control this power and use it for good, having the portals act as a way for the citizens to go through to get them to safety. But in a divine intervention moment, Arceus descends from the sky above, who is able to fully present to Hoopa the responsibility of unlimited power, this time from the actual god Pokemon, and not through powers that make you feel as powerful as a god. Arceus stops the crumbling of space and time before disappearing, with all the legendary Pokemon returning back to their homes. Hoopa is thankful to everyone around it and vows to help the city that claims it to be family get picked back up and put together again as they can all live happily. Ash and friends continue on just like it's another day of adventuring. Just because the next season of the XY anime is so packed with stuff to talk about, let's just discuss the next movie first, which is Volcanion and the Mechanical Marvel. This is the final movie in the canon timeline for the films as well, with the next film completely rebooting the continuity of Ash, creating a different timeline for the following few films. So for now, this is the final movie we will discuss in general that directly deals with this continuity's Ash Ketchum. In this film, we get to deal with two very interesting Pokemon, with that being Volcanion and Magearna. From the jump, an airship and Volcanion are at odds, leading to the pilot trying to shoot out handcuffed devices to stop Volcanion, but only part of it locks onto the beast, with the other of course landing on Ash, dragging him along with Volcanion, forcing the Pokemon and Ash to be linked together for now. Volcanion, though, is not a fan of humans and is now stuck to one. Together, they catch back up to the airship and learn about the cargo being transported to this kingdom that uses a magical steampunk science that led to one of the inventions here, this literal mechanical marvel being a man-made Pokemon Magearna. The inventor chose to hide Magearna away from the city to stop anyone from using the powers it has for the wrong reasons. And that's where Volcanion ties into things, having met Magearna allowing it to stay in the sanctuary that it oversees for any mistreated or left behind Pokemon from the hands of humans. Again, showcasing why Volcanion doesn't have any room in its heart for humans. And eventually an evil scientist comes to steal Magearna away, and that's how we get to the whole Volcanion chasing after the airship thing that we're currently dealing with, as Magearna is stored as cargo on that airship. Ash and Volcanion are able to get Magearna out of captivity for now and make an escape as we spend time with them all together. The themes of this film end up being more of a retread than anything, looking into the whole similarities and differences of Pokemon and if their way of life is better together or better being separate from humans. And Volcanion's intentions are nothing new for the series. The ideals are something repeated time and time again, with it having no trust in humans, having its own experiences seeing these Pokemon in the sanctuary being hurt by humans both physically and emotionally. Throughout the movie, Ash gets through to Volcanion that not all humans are bad, with how much good Ash does in being selfless and helping rescue Magearna and fighting with the evil scientist once Magearna is captured again. And with Ash's actions, Volcanion has a change of heart, and it welcomes Ash along with all of his friends to come to the sanctuary anytime. And maybe, just maybe, Volcanion won't be as hostile and dismissive of every human based on the actions of some. While the movie doesn't add too much new to the stories we've been told before, it does offer some fun action along with reiterating the highlights of the shared world of Pokemon and humans, bringing all the living beings together to happily live and share in the world with one another. But with all that being said, that's where we're going to leave off for the films. The canon timeline for them ends here with this film, and I am ready to get back into the anime itself, as this final season of the XY era proves to be packed with so much to discuss.
Who's that Pokemon?
Introducing the new Tim's credit card from Tim's Financial. The Tim's credit card rewards your everyday purchases everywhere you shop. Apply for the Tim's credit card now, only through the Tim's app. Conditions apply.
It's Heliolisk!
When we return to the next season,
Alright, I'm just gonna finish up this sketch. I'm just gonna add the hair. I'm gonna call it a day. Yeah. So far I got pretty much a good base laid down. Then I'll clean it up and then make it all pretty and nice. But we'll keep going for now.
dubbed XYZ, we begin on the regional bad guy group Team Flare trying to capture the legendary Pokemon Zygarde. When this is unsuccessful, the leader of Team Flare, Lysander, sends out the team to search for Zygarde further. However, we catch back up with Ash and friends who are still on their way to Snowbell City for Ash's final gym badge, as they stumble across what would be known as a Zygarde cell for how the structure of Zygarde works. But with the Pokédex data informing them that there is no data on the squishy green blob, Bonnie properly names it Squishy. How fitting. Ash is just excited to have seemingly discovered a new species of Pokemon. To add some more fun, Sawyer meets back up with the group as well, as right then and there they lose track of where Squishy has gone, with Team Flare coming across it, causing a commotion that our group takes note of. When they pull up to the scene, they tell Team Flare to back off and let Squishy go, getting into a quick battle that frees the green blob right back into Bonnie's care, as Ash and friends get to escape at one point, getting to a safe place to rest up for the night as Squishy refuses to eat anything offered to it. It then reaches out to these hidden in plain sight camouflage Zygarde cells that it can then view the whole area through, showing that things are pretty clear for now as the core absorbs the sunlight. Zygarde has many forms, with the cells being the base, the core or Squishy here being the next form, and from there it goes into the 10% form resembling this dog-like Pokemon, then to the 50% form resembling this more snake-esque design, and then finally a complete form that reminds me more of a Digimon. As the group discusses going to a place called Terminus Cave along the way to the next city, Squishy starts indicating that it would like to travel there specifically, so they agree to bring this little green blob there. Team Flare shows back up sometime later and causes a lot of problems for the group, splitting them up and causing Squishy to gather some of the Zygarde cells in the area to turn into the 10% form to fight back when cornered. Afterwards, Squishy releases the cells and turns back into the core form, fainting from the power it had to use. Our group comes back together and makes sure to help take care of the core, with Sawyer departing from the group, but grateful for Ash's advice once more from their chats. We then get another quick glimpse at the 50% form Zygarde hiding somewhere in the woods, as Ash and company continue towards the cave, walking past the character named Alon, a person who will begin to play a big role in the anime proper, but has had their own personal story, including introducing Zygarde and Team Flare in several Mega Evolution specials, leading to his story finally crossing paths with Ash, regardless if each of them are aware of each other's parts to play in the story, walking by each other as total strangers with zero acknowledgement. Professor Sycamore gets invited to learning about Squishy and wanting to research this seemingly new Pokemon species further, but we then reach episode 100 of the XY series, as it also turns out to be a very special moment for Ash and his Frogadier. During this ninja war between a village being under attack, Frogadier jumps ahead to protect Pikachu from further getting hurt during a battle with the Bisharp, evolving right then and there to pull from an incredible amount of strength needed in the moment, turning into Greninja, and using its newer Water Shuriken to battle. But beyond this, something special happens. A fully connected bond between Greninja and Ash, with Greninja's appearance changing slightly to resemble Ash, with his look being dubbed Ash Greninja. This immense power is able to defeat the Bisharp with ease now, and quickly turns back into the regular looking Greninja, with Ash left with more questions than answers about what just happened. After this whole altercation, Ash and company continue on their way, with those in the village deeming what they witnessed with Ash and Greninja representing this hero and protector from the past. Well, until we deal with whatever happened there again, we now get to Terminus Cave, giving us more run-ins with Team Flare, and the group seeing that Squishy here can change forms, adding on to the mysteries of Zygarde and the group's knowledge of what's going on. Eventually we meet back up with Sawyer, with him and Ash already once again battling with one another. For Sawyer, his Grovyle has evolved again and now has become a Sceptile, with the rivalry continuing between Sceptile and Ash's Greninja, as their matchup this time is a lot more intense since the last time these two Pokemon battled. When Sceptile is overpowering Greninja, the bond between Ash and Greninja link once more, with the Ash Greninja transformation taking place again, confusing Sawyer along with another somewhat familiar face we crossed paths with briefly at the start of the season, Alon. Alon is watching this battle happen, interested in why his Mega Ring isn't reacting to the transformation he just witnessed, cluing us into this not having anything to do with Mega Evolutions. Ash Greninja delivers a powerful aerial ace that takes out Sceptile before Greninja turns back to normal, and both it and Ash nearly pass out fully from whatever power was just used. After the battle, Ash gets asked about what this transformation was, but he still has no clue what happened. Once they get their Pokemon all healed up, Sawyer thinks that Ash may have become Greninja in that moment and Greninja may have became him, symbolizing this deep interlocked connection between human and Pokemon. Who really knows, but Ash thinks it's pretty cool. Sawyer departs from the group once more, with Alon walking into the Pokemon Center, but doesn't make himself known to Ash just yet, now being woken up in the morning to Team Rocket doing what Team Rocket does, and that's trying to steal Pikachu. Alon and his Charizard intervene to rescue Pikachu and blast Team Rocket out of there, and Ash is thankful to this mysterious guy, as Alon then offers a battle with him and his Charizard against Ash's Greninja, and of course, Ash is game for this. The battle starts off pretty normal until Alon Mega Evolves his Charizard into its Mega Charizard X form. Similar to Mewtwo, like in the Genesect movie having a Y form, it also does have an X form. The Charizard, being the popular Pokemon it is, also has an X and a Y form, with the X form fully changing the Pokemon's colorings, aside from basic appearance changes. Mega Charizard X dons this slick black and blue look, pulled together with burning blue flames. This of course impresses Ash and everyone watching the battle, but for Greninja, the battle just got a whole lot more intense. As Greninja takes quite the beating in the battle, Ash tells Greninja that they can't give up here, causing the bond between them to connect once more, bringing back out Ash Greninja. This is exactly what Alon wanted to happen, but he's still so confused on this not being linked to Mega Evolving, and how Ash is able to even do this with his Pokemon. The intense battle continues, resulting in the two colliding as Mega Charizard X uses Blast Burn that knocks Greninja out, and showing just how powerful this Mega Evolved Charizard is, with Ash collapsing to the ground alongside Greninja. Once Ash has some energy, he checks in on Greninja, with Alon thinking that the battle was really good, as the defeated Greninja nods in agreement. Alon now properly introduces himself, as they share in a mutual respect after the battle, healing back up at the Pokemon Center once more. Clement wants to help Ash in figuring out this power he and Greninja share or join in on, as they all would like to know more about just what in the heck is happening. Alon heads out on his own path for now, as this wouldn't be the only time these two will cross paths, as neither of the two trainers know that this helps spark the start of the visions Olympia forewarned Ash about last season. The chaos has yet to begin, but all is beginning to build up in the background as the groundwork is being laid. Giovanni is back at it again with Team Rocket, commanding Jesse and James to get involved with capturing Zygarde, and getting in the way of Team Flare and figuring out what their plans truly are, giving us more of a motivation for our Team Rocket trio here to be involved. Not that they haven't been in recent generations towards the regional bad guy teams, but I enjoy how they are more integrated here in the overall story, as well as playing into that Kalos ending vision. Squishy uses its connection to other Zygarde forms to try and continue his communications with Z2, another Zygarde core with a different colored gem represented in its stomach, that is currently caught up in the Team Flare and Team Rocket struggle, ending up now being captured by Team Flare, leaving Squishy worried about why Z2 isn't responding to Squishy's reach out attempts anymore. Alon as well has been shown off to have connections with Team Flare, obviously overlooking the special standalone Mega Evolution specials that give us that connection. Here, directly in the anime, he's in communication with Lysander, and now even helps out Team Flare capture Z2. When the Team Flare members are curious about Alon, and more specifically why he only directly works with Lysander, he only offers up limited information about him being told by Lysander to capture Z2. So there's more to this Alon character than what we've been shown thus far. Well, duh, he's been nothing but mysterious. For now, the group continues on to Snowbell City, which the main 8-badge journey seems to have taken quite the backseat for a while. But along the way, we get another legendary bird encounter, this time with Zapdos, as Ash's Noibat finally gets to shine here. Similar to the Moltres incident earlier in this series, Team Rocket has caused Zapdos to become angry, and in this rage-filled state, Ash tries to help calm the electric bird down. Zapdos is pretty powerful though, and Ash's Pokemon can't do much to stop the situation as Noibat swoops in to help, having to catch Hawlucha, who was sent plummeting to the ground. As Noibat does this, it evolves into Noivern, pulling out this level of strength that Ash and the other Pokemon have helped the little bat find within itself to become this large bat. Noivern ends up taking on Zapdos directly, and it outsmarts it, giving Noivern a direct attack that sends Zapdos now heading towards the ground, with Ash worried for the legendary bird, asking Noivern to save it before it hits the ground. Together, Noivern and Pikachu destroy Team Rocket's machine, causing this and freeing Zapdos, to which the lightning bird is grateful for the help and understands who the threat was, and it wasn't Ash and his Pokemon, as it now flies away in peace. With Noivern now in Ash's arsenal and the day saved, the group get to celebrate in the town festival that they're at, as well as enjoy some fireworks that are on display. I'm just so happy that Ash not only got to have a Noibat on his team for a while, but now has a full-on Noivern. It's just such an awesome Pokemon. Serena's own path has been continuing on as well through the Pokemon Showcase circuit. With many of them already having taken place, Serena finds herself doing well in the Masterclass Showcase, making her way to the finals where she faces her own personal rival, Arya. She holds the current title of Kalos Queen already from these showcases, and sadly, that doesn't change here as Arya ends up winning the showcase and holding on to the title. While Bonnie is sad for Serena, the whole group knows that she gave a great performance, with Ash relating to the feeling of not winning within the leagues he's participated in before, offering the nice perspective that even though she lost, it only means that she still has her dream to tightly hold on to and work towards. Again, showing the growth of Ash. Arya even speaks with Serena and thoroughly enjoyed the competition, and would love to perform again sometime, to which Serena agrees and holds on to that drive to become Kalos Queen one day. Even Serena's mother supports her and encourages her regarding her dream, knowing she did her best and will continue to give it her all. You know, it's just nice to see that even though she wanted her to do one thing in life, she accepts her daughter's passions and wants her to be happy and succeed. Later that night, when Serena is sitting alone, Ash has a heart-to-heart with her and expresses his personal feelings when he loses or comes up short of where he thought he could be. Thinking that she's already sort of pumped and planning out her next performance, Serena just kind of sits there and admires how much of an optimist Ash is in situations like this. Hey Serena, trust us, it took Ash a lot to be here. We've seen him nearly give it all up before, getting his own pep talks of sorts to keep going. And heck, he could even go through this all again for all we know. Is that foreshadowing? Maybe. Ash further goes into him not having the answers of what to do in situations like this, but no matter what, he always rather do what he needs to do to continue on than do nothing at all if he loses, reiterating that nothing he does is a waste of time. The journey is the journey and it will have its ups and its downs, but win or lose, it's all experience and meant to be for that particular moment. This talk means a lot to Serena, and it shows just how great of a friend Ash is. The next morning, Palermo, a character who has been in and out of the series in relation to the showcase pieces and has offered Serena some harsh criticism throughout the series, enters back in once more. She's a former Kalos Queen herself and is the sole person behind training Arya to be the Kalos Queen that she is now. But after Serena has lost in the Masterclass and has this understanding of why she didn't win mixed with the drive to still become Kalos Queen, Palermo offers to officially tutor Serena, which sparks happiness in Serena, but just for the thought of realizing that she is growing on her own path to be recognized in this light by Palermo. For now, she turns down the offer, wanting to still travel with Ash on his journey, as Palermo gives Serena her phone number and tells her to give her a call when she is ready. From here, Clement spends time with Ash using his Clembot Mini to show his studies thus far regarding Ash Greninja, as he feels it's this psychological connection that causes them to act and move in sync with one another. He hands Ash and Greninja some battle pulse meters that will gather data to see the different.
Alright, I think I'm gonna end here. This was just the rough sketch, so I hope you guys like what you see so far. If you like what you see, feel free to follow me on all social media platforms or wherever you see me, and I'll clean this up. But this is a rough sketch, and then I'll fix up portions, and then we'll make it all pretty. If I'll make different versions of it, then we'll post it. But yeah, I haven't drawn in a while, so this is a nice little sketch to do. So yeah, we'll continue on next time. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you guys enjoy. Feel free to follow me. It's free. Alright. Bye.